Assalamualaikum and hello fellow friends and dear Dr. Osman. My name is Ahmad Fadli B. Ibrahim, matrix number 261037, and I am from Group 8. Our group will be presenting on Auditing System Development Lifecycle SDLC and Business Continuity. So the part that I am going to be presenting will be Topic 6.1 Overview of System Development Lifecycle SDLC. So, first thing first, regarding the SDLC definition. Actually, SDLC or System Development Lifecycle is a process used by the software industry to design, develop, and test high-quality software. Then, it is a process followed for a software project within a software organization. Next, it consists of a detailed plan describing how to develop, maintain, replace, and alter or enhance specific software. SDLC also been called as Software Development Process. Within SDLC, there will be 7 models, begin from waterfall model to RAD model, which I will explain in detail in the next slide. So the first model would be waterfall model. It also referred as linear sequential lifecycle model. In a waterfall model, each phase must be completed before the next phase can begin, and there is no overlapping in the phases. In this model, typically the outcome of one phase acts as the input for the next phase sequentially. So the next model will be the iterative model. In this model, the iterative process starts with a simple implementation of a small set of software requirements and iteratively enhance the evolving version until the complete system is implemented and ready to be deployed. So within this model, the process is repetitive, allowing to make new version of the software at the end of each iteration of the model. Next, we will have the spiral model. Actually, the spiral model is a combination of iterative model and waterfall model with a very high emphasis on risk analysis. This model allows incremental release of the product or incremental refinement through each iteration around the spiral. The spiral model has 4 phases. A software project repeatedly passes through these phases in iteration called spirals. Moving forward, we will have the V-shaped model. So this model is an SDLC model where execution of processes happens in a sequential manner in a V shape. It also known as verification and validation model. Under this model, the corresponding testing phase of the development phase is planned in parallel. So there are verification phase on one side of the V and validation phase on the other side. Then we will have the Big Bang model. The Big Bang model comprises of focusing all the possible resources in the software development and coding with a very little or absolutely no planning at all. Usually, this model is followed for small projects where the development teams are very small. Further, we will have the Agile model. So, Agile SDLC model is actually a combination of iterative and incremental process model with focus on process adaptability and customer satisfaction by rapid delivery of working software product. In this model, the tasks are divided to time box, small time frames to deliver specific features for a release. Last but not least, we will have the RAD model or Rapid Application Development Model, which is a software development methodology that use minimal planning in favor of rapid prototyping. RAD model distribute the analysis, design, build, and test phase into a series of short, iterative development cycles. In this model, the functional modules are developed in parallel as prototypes and are integrated to make the complete product for a faster product delivery. That's all from me, and then I will pass to the next presenter.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Aina Syahida binti Isa, magic number 264300, and I will continue with the 6.2 auditor's involvement in the SDLC. And firstly, why is the auditor need to be involved in the process of SDLC? Because the auditor will evaluate the system strategy, and then history has proven that with a cautious system strategy by the auditor, it will make it a more cost-effective control technique for the system development. And then the full commitment strategy said that will lower the risk of produce of system that is not necessary and that not wanted and not effective. And then for the internal and external auditors, they will interested in making sure that the fully system strategy are done. And then we go to the first phase of the SDLC. The first is the planning. This is where the auditor are often called to provide the expertise in evaluating the feasibility of the projects during the planning of the process. And as the auditors also, they must examine the systems planning phase of the SDLC, since they are careful system planning can help to prevent any unnecessary development costs. And a careful system planning is a cost-effective activity in reducing the risk of creating unneeded, unwanted, inefficient, and ineffective system. The second phase is the analyze. This is where the auditors need to review the requirements definition, where they need to verify the accuracy with the users of the system, and then they need to identify the key team members and the stakeholders of the company, and then the auditor will receive the paper approval from the management and process for the needs and analysis, and then verify the needs of analysis to confirm to the standards of the auditing. And this is the third phase of the SDLC, which is design, and where the design here is the auditor will making sure that the current system's weak points are eliminated while preserving its strengths. And it's important for the accounting consideration are not conceptualized at this point, and they may be overlooked and expose the organization to the potential loss. And the audit ability of a system depends in part on its design characteristic. The fourth phase is the develop. This is where auditor need to review the test plans, where they need to see whether the plan is completed and accurate. This is where the system is tested, where the unit and the system test plan are being tested, and where the users accepted plans. And also the auditor will review the test result, and the review of the result will show the procedure used for the recording and the check of accuracy in resolving errors of the audited document. And then we go to the implement phase of the SDLC, where the auditor will implement the newly designed system for the organization and conducting follow-up studies and acquiring resources for the new system. And there will be a training for the new or existing employees to use the system, and the companies will conduct follow-up studies on an ongoing basis in order to determine whether the new system is successful or not, and of course to identify any new problems with the new system. And lastly is the maintenance, is the phase of the SDLC, where the auditor will modify the system as needed so that they can correct any problem or meet the changing needs. And the auditor will review system change request procedure and emergency for any change procedure. They also need to review any error logs to determine whether the operating problems within the system. And the post-implementation, this is where the person that need to be conduct the post-implementation is the IS auditor, where the person will be not the person that involved in the system development. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good day to everyone. My name is Nurul Atika binti Ismail and my metric number 264378. Now I will continue presenting on the IS standards and guidelines on SDLC. There are 7 types of the IS standard and guideline, which are system initiations, system requirement analysis, system designs, system constructions, system testing acceptance, system implementations, and system maintenance. So the first standards and guideline is the system initiations. So in a system initiations, a need or opportunity is defined, a concept proposal is made, and an initial feasibility study is conducted, and as well a project character is formulated. And the second one is system requirement analysis. What is system requirement analysis? System requirement analysis is analyze user needs and develop user requirements. Create a detailed functional requirements document. Break down the system, process, or problem into discrete unit or modules, and utilize diagrams or other visual tools in order to analyze the situations or needs. So any security requirement must be defined in the system requirement analysis. The third one is system designs. So what is system design? System design is this perhaps transform the requirement into a design document. So the functions and operation of the system or software being designed are described in detail. A risk analysis should be between the system requirements and system design perhaps. And a final design review should be done to ensure the designs address practically efficiency, cost, facility, and security. Next, system constructions or procurement. So in these systems, entire the transformations of the detailed design documents into a finished product or solutions. A manual or automated testing at a unit or module level is done throughout this perhaps by the system or software developers. So security considerations are taken into account during testing, and a third-party product may be utilized as a system or software solution if it best fits the user requirements and is more practical from budgetary and resources perspective. And however, all of the nets perhaps should be followed regardless of whether the solution was developed in the house or purchased. Next, System testing and acceptance. This perhaps should be validate or confirm that the development system or software meets our functional requirements as captured during the system requirement analysis perhaps. So, representatives separate from the development group should conduct inter-quality assurance testing. Representatives from the user group should conduct user acceptance testing. Documentations during testing should detail and match testing criteria to specify requirements. And why unit and module testing should be done throughout the entire SDLC. This perhaps entails holistic testing of the finished product, and the final acceptance testing is testing by the user. Okay, the final security assessment testing is now conducted. So any problem is identified during a previous perhaps must be resolved or remade implementations. Next one is system implementations. What is system implementation do? The finished, tested, and user-accepted system or software is moved from the testing environment to the productions. All tools, code, or access mechanisms used for development or testing of the system or software must be removed from the software that is being moved into a production environment. And any necessary user training should be done prior to or during this perhaps. The last one is system maintenance. What is system maintenance do? Okay, system maintenance is the ongoing life of the system or software. Unlike the others perhaps, this perhaps only ends when the system or software is documented. Customer or user support structure and any other necessary operational or support processes should be placed in. So any planned change to the system of software should be scheduled, communicated, and documented. Continuous security penetration testing is conducted on the system of all software throughout its life cycle at regularly scheduled intervals. So, a mandatory security testing is a conduct when any major configuration or architecture change is made. So that's all from us. So thank you.